Takes and Talks.
Hello, and welcome to this symphonic and refreshing episode of Takes and Talks, presented to you by Cinema for a Cause. And the name of our today's episode is Music Beyond Borders and Boundaries. Dear viewers, you'll be glad to know that today we are stepping into the 25th episode of Takes and Talks. And the thing is that time cannot restrict us. That's really true. And that is the reason, particularly for this episode, we have chosen a theme which is beyond any borders and barriers and boundaries, which has really stood the test of time. And that is nothing other than music. And joining us today in this musical journey is our guest, Dr. Norbert Ammermann from Osnabruk, Germany. So why wait? Let's set out for a musical journey with Dr. Norbert Ammermann, who is a musician, a theologist, a scientist, and a music composer. Dear viewers, let's welcome our today's guest. Hello, Dr. Norbert Ammermann. How are you?
Hello.
Namaskar.
Hello. Thank you very much for this invitation. I'm happy to be
We
here.
are honored to have you as our guest today. We are really honored to have you. So, dear viewers, next I would like to welcome the very backbone of our Cinema for a Cause and the ideator and moderator of our show, Takes and Talks, Mr. Abhishek Ganguly. Mr. Ganguly, welcome to Takes and Talks.
Thank you, Shormishta. Thank you. And Namaskar, Norbert. Namaskar. Thank you so much for joining us from Osnabruk, Germany. And you're looking so good with, Osnabruk in your background. You can see Osnabruk also. Lovely, Norbert. Lovely.
It's virtual.
Yes.
So, dear viewers,
Okay.
I always say Takes and Talks is your very own show. So be with us till the end and enjoy being a part of this musical journey. Now, over to you, Mr. Ganguly.
Thank you, Shormishta. That was a beautiful introduction to Norbert. Norbert has been my friend through Facebook, and we have been interacting, we have been collaborating, we have been looking beyond borders and boundaries through music, through films, through our different kind of interactions. So this question and answer session with Norbert, we would like to know more about his work, his love of life, his passion, his research, how he composes music, all that. So Norbert, the first question to you is, you are a man who's romantic, you are a man who loves everything in life, but what do you love the most?
My wife, my children, the music. Is anyone disappointed that music is only on third place? I can assure you that the music has brought us together, my wife and me.
Lovely. For our viewers, just to tell you that Norbert's wife, Mrs. Ammermann, is a very famous artist, and she has her art shows, art exhibitions, and in October there'll be a very big show coming up, which Norbert and Madam, they are organizing. So all the best to that show also, Norbert. The second question is, you have been a theologian. You have been studying different religions. And with that, you have also been a researcher and a scientist. So how have you combined theology with science? How was that possible?
In Germany, theology is a science-similary philosophy, a self-reflection of revelation with scientific methods. And theologians work with social researches, methods, and I myself conduct empirical studies with social science methods. And theology and science are not a contradiction in terms. So it's good to combine together that.
Okay, so as I could understand, theology and science both have combined in your research, and in Germany, theology is a part of scientific research only.
Yes.
Lovely. Norbert, you have been journeying through music. You have done a lot of research for music. You have been composing music. but all that began with your love for music. So how did it begin?
Yeah, I think it was as a child and teenager. I was enthusiastic about the Western classical music. And as student, we had a highly esteemed music teacher who familiarized us with Beethoven and the Beatles. And early and modern music were equally accepted. There was no difference between old and modern music, and there are my roots of music.
Okay, those are the roots. Fantastic. You have also, as you said, your music teacher had also christened you into Indian classical music. Do you think the East and West can create a new dimension, a new genre of music if Eastern music, Eastern classical or Indian classical music and Western classical music, we have a marriage, we have a combination of both. Can a new dimension come out?
Yeah, first, like perhaps I must tell that as a teenager, I started composing and concerts for cellos and other things. And I tried to develop a new sound system, not atonal and more than just major and minor, and a tonal one-way street system. And someone told me Indian classical raga music has long since developed this. I happened to buy a record, a classical raga by Ravi Shankar, Rag Parameshwari, for 40 minutes and was immediately enchanted.
Lovely. So that was your, doctrination into Indian classical music by the classic raga of Rag Parameshwari by Ravi Shankar, which was 40 minutes long. So I go on to my next question, which is Eastern music, the Indian classical music and Western classical music. If we combine both, what comes out? Is it a new dimension, a new genre of music?
Yes, I think so. I think there are three levels of musical encounter. On the first level, we perceive each other, try to understand the other's music, which initially seems exotic to us. And on the second level, we discover similarities and exchange ideas musically. You, Abhishek, have demonstrated this on your film Our World is One, which tells this encounter music worldwide. And on the third level, we critically reflect our music and create something new, perhaps an opera, a musical theater, a symphony with new musical categories. And this is the meta level, I would say, of art music that is most exciting for me. And on this meta level, we can encounter another.
Okay, lovely. So, as Norbert said, that all together, synthesizing everything, we achieve that meta level of art music, which is very exciting for Dr. Norbert Ammermann. Norbert, now, just viewers, we would like to show a small audio visual on Dr. Norbert Ammermann, some excerpts of the different glimpses of Norbert creating music, playing the sitar, his composing room where he does the sadhana, where he does the worship of music. So, Shormishta, if we can have the audiovisual on Dr. Norbert Ammermann, who's our guest from Osnabruk, Germany tonight.
Music beyond borders and boundaries, exploring the magic power of music in transcending every barrier, winning hearts, healing minds, rejuvenating and inspiring new beginnings. Through a face-to-face live chat session with eminent esteemed music researcher, composer, mentor, sitarist Norbert Ammermann from Osnabruk, Germany. A man dedicated to music in every sense of the term at Takes and Talks as on the 18th of July, Sunday, Indian Standard Time, 8 to 8:40 p.m. If you love the power of music, You just can't miss this happening on the Cinema for a Cause Facebook page at Takes and Talks, as on the 18th of July, music beyond borders and boundaries with Norbert Ammermann from Germany.
Loved you playing the sitar, and we loved, your different photographs and videos, which have been a small video which has been created by our creative team. You play the sitar. Who trained you in sitar playing, and how have you blended sitar with the Western string instrument?
Perhaps to the disappointment of many, I didn't have a sitar teacher. I have played a lot with Swapan Bhattacharya, a tabla player from Kolkata, and with Manoj Barwah, a violin player. And from the beginning, it was not intended to become a great virtuoso like the Indian masters. I think that's not so possible for Western people to touch into the Indian classical music in this deep way. But I listen to raga music every day, and I have heard a lot from Nikhil Banerjee, whom I love the most, and all the other artists. And rather, I was looking for connections between our music of Middle Ages, which is tied to times and hours like Indian music. In the West, we don't ask where do you come from with your music, rather where you are going with your music. What is the future of your music? And I think Western music does not know the beauty of the Shrutis of Indian music, but Western music can architecturally create entire cathedrals, musical cathedrals. And if that comes together, the Indian way of such nice music, and then the building of Western music, I think that must be also very interesting. Perhaps, Mrs. Chakraborty, we can play a little video from the symphony Pentecost. Pentecost is an ancient narrative, and the heavens open and the spirit of the divine flows into our human hearts. That means Pentecost.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. So beautiful, Norbert. We were really journeying into a different trance with that beautiful, music visual of the sky, the clouds traveling, and so beautiful choral voices, which have been mixed with so nice composition. And I loved what you said, in the West, no one asks you, where have you come from with your music? It's always, where are you going to go with your music, which is the futuristic vision. Lovely. That's what it should be like. Norbert, what is your vision about the power of music? As we have named this entire program, this Takes and Talk show, Music Beyond Borders and Boundaries. Is it possible that through the power of music, we can make cultures meet? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we need common visions worldwide. For example, the climate change cannot only be managed rationally with our ration. We need mental images inner ideas in order to align our behavior for the good of the world. That I think, and I think music is one, perhaps the best way for that.
Great. That was Dr. Norbert Ammermann saying that we must be musically correct, and our behavior should be in that way and musically ignited and illuminated so that we can do good for the world. Beautiful. Norbert, you have been doing commendable musicals, and in recent times you have been blending East with West, Eastern music with Western music. You have composed pieces for the future of Europe, the European Union. So can you just tell us some of your experiments which you're doing?
Yeah, I will try. The piece about Europe is, the background is that the European Union is in a quiet crisis and many political forces are gnawing at it from the right. And in order to perceive ourselves as Europeans, not only as Germans, Spaniards or Englishmen, we need more than a functioning economy. What is needed is a love of humanism that we associate with Europe. And there is an ancient Greek legend that the god Zeus kidnaps the king's daughter Europe. He turned out to be a bull, a lover, and finally a god. We can grow beyond ourselves. And I have implemented this vision of Europe musically. We performed them together with readings from letters from people who are fleeing to Europe. And in the last third movement, an old Hellenic melody from around 160 after AD, and Syrian melody 4,000 years old can be heard from a distant time. And yeah, in this form, in this kind, I try to give a vision of that ideas which can feel us together. Perhaps we can also see a little video from that, Mrs. Chakraborty.
Lovely,
thank you very much.
Amazing. So, how did you compose this? Like, how much time did it take to compose this?
The question is how I do compose, and that is not so easy to answer. I can't make a view into my brain from the inside. Also, I don't know if a computer tomography could provide detailed information about brain processes that take place in artistic work. So maybe I can give a practical example. And you, Abhishek, has asked me to provide a small soundtrack for a video about birds. And only 3.5 minutes for a conference in Kolkata. It was about the imminent extinction of the bird world. And you mails me the photos to put that together into a collage and beautiful bird shots. And I have set the pictures internally and don't think about it any further at first. And in the evening, when I sit by the pond, the first musical movements come to my mind. Internally, I hear musical scales, rise and fall root, second, third, fifth straight. And the irresistible feeling of having to compose this music in Rag Hamsatwani. This is a 5-note raga that contains the large seventh. And some days after the completion of the composition, I do read what the Raga Hamsatwani means. Translated, it means the cry of the swan. So I say to myself, consciously, subliminally, I have heard the cry of the birds for their survival. The theme of the Ragham Sadhwani you can hear in the piccolo flute in the first texts of the symphony. The original theme is like this: Na ninya danya bhakti tati ta ta ranya danya datam ta ta dam. And now transfer in an orchestral speech. Perhaps we can show the third video, Wings of Freedom.
Norbert, I really loved
It's very
that.
nice.
I really loved it. Especially the
Mr.
way you have
Ganguly,
composed was amazing. Yeah, we
Mr.
have
Fantastic
Ganguly,
permission.
photos.
we have a surprise guest for Dr. Norbert Ammermann.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to
Someone
know?
is joining us, it seems?
Yes, she
Yeah,
is
please,
already
please,
at backstage. Okay.
Okay.
So here comes the surprise.
Hello, hello,
Okay.
namaskar.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Namaste.
First of all, I'd
Okay.
like to thank Abhishek for presenting such a beautiful program and making me a part of
Oh,
it. Hi, Norbert.
no, but you also,
Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh my
Hi.
God. I'm watching my own photographs. Oh, such a beautiful thing. Oh my God. My photographs as if they regain their life and soaring high, flying in the sky, chirping all over the world with enchanting music of yours. Norbert, I'm thankful to
correct,
you.
correct. Norbert has, as he said,
It
he
was a
had
great
composed
honor
this,
for me.
yeah, yeah, sitting by the pond.
It's
He was sitting by the pond and he composed. That was really
such a
lovely.
beautiful music.
How
Oh my God.
how simply he composes music. It's very much a part of his life, as we could understand. Dr. Mitali, thank you so much. Audience, just for your knowledge, Dr. Mitali has been the contributor behind the entire bird video Wings of Freedom. Whatever photographs you have seen there, all have been shot by Dr. Mitali, who is one of the most eminent bird photographers of Kolkata and India. And Dr. Mitali was very, very benevolent to share those photographs. And Norbert created the fantastic, fascinating music, which will go as a background to this Wings of Freedom sitting in Germany. So this is how East has met West. East with its fantastic photography and the visuals, and Norbert from West sitting in Osnabruk, Germany, with his
It's my
amazing
pleasure.
music. Uh, Dr. Das,
Yeah.
yeah, before you leave, I'll just ask one small question to you. You do a lot of bird photography. So
Yeah.
do you listen to the music the birds create?
Oh yeah, definitely. The music is everywhere, every corner in the nature. Only a nature lover can listen to it. The sound of falling leaves, the sound of waterfalls, the noises of birds chirping, the chirping movement of animals, all makes a waves of music. That's beautiful. That is how we listen to the music. Only the nature lover can identify that music. We
Absolutely.
also know, yeah, we also know that the great composers of the world, especially Western world, has made this compose their works from the chirping birds. The bird songs of cuckoo, the songs of nightingale they have used. The famous composer he was talking about, the Beethoven, has used the songs of cuckoo in his famous music. This is
Correct,
how
Dr. Dev.
the birds were used in music.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Yeah,
as you said, you hear a lot of music from nature. Let us all
yeah.
work together, Norbert, Dr. Dev, and I as a filmmaker. Let us
Yeah.
all join hands and work
Let
that
us,
this
let
music
us
should never stop. This music should never
never
stop.
stop.
Let us create things like that. Thank you, Dr. Dev. That
Yeah,
was a surprise visit, but a very
it's
pleasant
my
one. Thank you
pleasure.
once again. Yeah, thank you
Thank
once
you so
again
much.
for being
Thank you
with
so
us.
much. Thank you,
Okay.
Norbert.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for
Okay.
your nice
Yeah.
photos. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. No, but we that was lovely surprise. So we go on to the next question. As we saw that your music really transcends everything. When we were watching that video, the birds flying and the music which was
Hmm.
giving that beautiful background, we were totally hypnotized. We were in a trance. So do you think music is meditative and healing, and how important it is to calm a stressed mind? The therapy of music. What do you think?
I myself, I have get known Dr. Siddhartha Ganguly in Kolkata, the first contact then to you, and he investigates how music can affect our brain, neurons, and synapses. And I think music can calm, heal, lead us to the threshold of transcendence. I
Correct.
think
So
Indian
do you
Raga
think?
music is, excuse me,
No, no. You please carry on.
Yeah, I think Indian ragas are based on the chakras, and the Kundalini winds through the 7 chakras, and the raga winds to this way through the 5 or 7 basic tones. And why shouldn't such music not be healing? It extends from digestion to our central brain, that I'm sure.
Yeah, so that's the brain science, analyzing music scientifically, how it affects our brain and how it heals our brain, how it helps to get the stress level from our brain much lesser,
Yeah.
and it has a very calming effect on our entire psyche, the body, and the brain. Fantastic, Norbert. Norbert has been a great friend and a follower of my father, Dr. Siddharth Ganguly. And, he and my father, they exchanged a lot of notes about music, about the healing effect of music, about the calming effect of music. Thank you, Norbert. Norbert, music is very much a part of us. Music is a part of our life. As Dr. Mitali said, whenever she goes out to photograph, she listens to so many sounds. She, hears the chirping of birds, and as she said, Beethoven and great composers have been inspired by such sounds of the nature. The music in us, do you think we should be always ready to embrace newness in music? What do you think?
What's the question now, Abhishek? I must ask.
Should we be ready, the archetype music which is inherent in us? Should we be always ready to embrace the new?
Yeah, I think my own theory is that music has 2 roots. Music is instinctive, impulsive, tied to our instincts. This makes us alive and makes us dance and celebrate. And the other root is music is spiritual, is a kind of mathematic geometry, solidifies into sounds. That's how the ancient Greeks understood it. And also we can find the theory, I think, also in the Vedanta and other countries. And I recur a little to 𝐻𝐶𝐒 Jung's deep psychology of the archetypes, and because they express this ambivalence. When I dream an intensive dream, I encounter my instincts and my reason and mind at the same time, and both want to come together. This is where our healing takes place, says 𝐻𝐶𝐒 Jung. And yoga describes it no differently. Body, soul, spirit are inseparable. And so I look to combine music with this psychological theory. I think that is very helpful, because our inner images are our instincts and are also our spirit together. Could that help?
Correct. So yes, it could. As you said, it has 2 roots, and finally, the inner instincts are most important, as Carl Jung has said. The depth of psychology, it expresses the ambivalence, and as you said, that I dream an intense dream and I encounter my instincts and my mind at the same time. So the instincts and the mind both are in conjunction here, and finally, it has a healing effect, a therapeutic effect on the human psychology. Fantastic. Norbert, it seems a lot of people, you have a lot of fans from, they are going on giving messages and they have a lot of questions now. So I will just pass on to Shorbishta to organize and coordinate the question and answer round for Dr. Norbert Ammermann at Takes and Talks from Osnabruk, Germany. Over to Shorbishta for the Q&A session. Thank you.
You are watching Takes and Talks.
So you are watching Takes and Talks, and this is the 25th episode of our series. time for viewers' questions and answer round. So, Dr. Ammermann, we have got a couple of questions. We have got a couple of questions from viewers. We will take the questions one by one. So, first of all, our viewers would like to know some of your personal favorites, like which is your favorite Indian raga?
The first raga I have heard was Rag Parameshwari from Ravi Shankar, and the most lovely raga for me is Rajesh. Rajesh, I don't know why, but I like it the almost.
Okay. And apart from this sitar, which is your favorite instrument? Musical instrument, I mean to say.
I don't have learned another instrument because I began to compose as student, and my teacher says don't learn an instrument because it's wrong to compose by piano, by trumpet or so. It's better to know nothing from the instruments, and then you can compose in absolute style. But if you like, you can also learn piano, but compose and playing are different things. So the first instrument was guitar, which I take in my hands.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. What do you think? I mean, what is the similarity between Indian and Western music, classical music?
Oh, I think there is a great similarity, because in the Middle Age we have had shrutis in our music like in Indian music, and vis and ges, for example, were two different tones, and then with Johann Sebastian Bach we have another system, a harmonic system, that the tones are more similatory. And the first times, if I have learned Indian music, I can't heard Western music. It was also not stimming for me. And now I can account two cultures, two music cultures. And we find by Beethoven, we find in the diary a notice by Ludwig van Beethoven, Indian notes, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. So there was the north from another, the east and the west music.
Okay.
Excuse me, my poor English.
No, it's completely okay. We can understand you. Being a German, how did you get fascinated with Indian classical music? When did it start? Being a German, how has Indian classical music attracted you?
Fascinated with Indian. I think I was 20 years old when I began to study ink, and then I have tried to compose something, and then someone, I don't know the name, gave me the tip to hear Indian classical music, and I was fascinated from the first seconds, and so I have get more and more knowledge about this music.
So you were a student at the time, right? 18 to 20. I guess you were a student at the time. You were studying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's great. So your association with Indian classical music has been since decades, more than a decade, and more than 2 to 3 decades, I guess. Okay. So moving on to the next question, it's a bit about the music therapy. For the music therapy, do you think that we need pure Indian classical music, or classical fusion can also work?
The Charité in Berlin is the research center of the Hospital for Medicine. They have make researches of music to the blood pressure and for stress. And classical music was very helpful, but only significant. It was very interesting. Only significant was the Indian classical music. So that I think the pure Indian classical music has helped. Also, when people don't understand them, that was all very interesting. So they asked after 20 minutes, are they tune their instruments? Will they play in the middle of the raga? But the blood pressure is down and the heart is no stress more. That was very interesting.
Okay. Okay. That was very much effective with effective on high blood pressure patients. That you mean to say, right? The Indian classical music that was played.
Yeah.
Okay. Great to know that. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. Indian classical music, there lies some sort of spirituality, right? It has some sort of spirituality. Spirituality is very much in the nature of Indian classical music. So, what would you like to say about that?
Was it negotiate? Negotiate?
No. Let me tell you. Indian classical music has some sort of spirituality. It connects you spiritually. Yes. It connects with you spiritually. What would you like to say about that?
I think that's a very helpful perspective for our Western culture, and to get know the Indian spirituality. Also, I have read something from the Vedanta and other scriptures, and I think we have learned a lot from that.
Right. Okay. Do you think Indian music has influenced the Western music?
Yes, that I think. Beethoven knows Indian music. Goethe has encounters with Indian music. Then the modern componists, Messiaen and other, get something from the Indian music, have worked with scales like the Indian music, the Impressionism of Claude Debussy and other. There are a lot encounter, but it's not on the traditional line. They have taken something and put it in the Western classical music. And
okay. I see. So, moving on to the last question of viewers question answer session. Dr. Norbert Ammermann, do you have any experience of composing music for any dance performance?
Yes, that I have. So, example, the Pentecost Symphony will shout with a dance company. It's combined dance and my music. I think that's very fantastic to combine art.
So you have composed music for stage performance, right?
Yes, stage performance. Yeah.
Okay, that's looking forward to listening to that also. That's really great. So with this, we have come to an end of the viewers question answer session. Mr. Ganguly is waiting backstage. Let me add him to the stream. Yes, Mr. Ganguly.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Norbert. I was feeling so proud when Norbert said that the Western composers have been influenced by Indian classical music. As you said, Mozart and Beethoven, all of them, like they have taken nuances from Indian classical music and they have adapted it into Western compositions. It was so, like a kind of a proud feeling for being an Indian when we hear that it has been accepted worldwide, the Indian classical music. Fantastic. And viewers, just to share my observations with you, whenever I was working with Norbert, I and Norbert, we have collaborated on two films, music visual, I'm calling them, where music and visual both combine to create some kind of magic. Norbert first worked with me in a special production called Aqua Maze, where he composed music for my Kerala backwaters filming. So, I was on a houseboat and I filmed Kerala backwaters. So I told Norbert, can you compose something? So he composed a beautiful music. So that is available on YouTube. And after that, when I got those lovely photographs from Dr. Mitali Shahadev from Kolkata, a birder of international repute, I again told Norbert, I have some beautiful birds with me. So what can we do? We have to save the birds. So he said, okay, let me compose the music. And he sat by his pond, as he said, and he thought about nature and he created this wonderful music of Wings of Freedom. We have launched Wings of Freedom today on our 25th episode. It will be available on YouTube within 1 or 2 days from now. So you please watch, share, and spread the chirping of birds, composed by Dr. Norbert Ammermann and beautifully photographed by Dr. 𝐖𝐄𝐀𝐕𝐈𝐍𝐆. Fantastic collaboration of East meets West. And
Yes.
like as I was, like these beautiful music compositions which Norbert has done. Whenever I feel stressed or I have a very long day, I just come back and play them, and they have a fantastic, stress freeing effect or stress healing effect on me. As he said, that the kind of research which is going on, it really reduces your blood pressure as well as it reduces the stress, the healing effect of music. So music is doing wonders all over the world. Music therapy is really curing us of all the modern ailments, the pandemic stress, the pandemic anxiety, whatever we are facing, the world is facing today with. So, Norbert, every time when a guest comes and you are an international guest, we always want a return gift in the form of a performance. And Norbert is a performer, a composer, a researcher. So we had requested Norbert to play a small sitar piece and do a video because it was not possible for him to play right live here now. So we told him to record a small 2 minutes video on a sitar recital, which we would like to share with the audience. This is Norbert's return gift to all of us in Kolkata, in India, even abroad, and especially to the Takes and Talks team. Shormishta, if we can have Norbert's special video, which he has specially played on sitar and composed for us. Dr. Norbert Ammermann playing the sitar from Osnabruk, Germany, in a video recording. Yes. So beautiful, Norbert. So beautiful.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a very, very great pleasure to be in your show, Abhishek.
No. It was our honor, and especially on our 25th episode, like 25th Takes and Talks, we've got a person, a composer, a researcher, a scientist, a man who believes music can really cross borders and boundaries and make the entire world into oneness. you really believe in what you say, and that has really touched us. You believe in nature, you believe in the healing therapy of music, you believe in conquering above all worldly materialism with your music. Fantastic, Norbert. We are really inspired, motivated. We are touched by Dr. Norbert Ammermann from Osnabruk, Germany, at Takes and Talks, the 25th episode of Takes and Talks. Thank you. Over to Shormishta.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Well, thank you, Dr. Norbert Ammermann, for enriching our show so musically. Hope you have enjoyed being with us. Dr. Norbert Ammermann, I'm sure you have enjoyed being in the show, right?
Ben?
Yeah, I'm
I
sure you
didn't
have enjoyed
understand
being.
Yes.
I'm sure you have also enjoyed being with us in the show today.
Oh, it was very, very nice. And I'm very pleasured about the contact with you. And I think I will look it every Sunday.
Okay,
Your
yeah,
show.
that's a pleasure. That's really an honor.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure for me to be to have this
So we
contact.
wish you
Thank you
we
very
wish
much.
you all the happiness. We wish you all the happiness. We wish you a great health. We just pray that your life be filled with all the melodies. May you be creative as ever. So, dear
Okay.
viewers, that was Dr. Norbert Ammermann from Osnabruk, Germany, and with him we have completed our 25th episode. And as we set out for the next milestone, we promise to bring more such interesting episodes for you with lots of surprise elements, surprise guests, and a lot and loads of infotainment. As I always say, Takes and Talks is your very own show, very own platform. So if you have any such inspiring story to share, please do not forget to contact us. For details, please take a quick look at the next video. Thank you very much.